It happened so fast I didn't even have time to prepare myself. One second I was driving to pick up groceries. The next second a woman's voice filled my car, calm and familiar, saying something that made my hands start shaking on the steering wheel. "I can't wait to see you again tonight. Last night was perfect." Before we go any further, make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment. What would you do if you heard something like that come from your partner's phone out of nowhere? Because I promise you, what I discovered after that voice note was far worse than cheating. My name is Rachel, and up until that moment I thought I had a solid marriage. Daniel and I had been married for 6 years. We lived just outside London in a quiet neighborhood, the kind where everyone knows each other and nothing dramatic ever seems to happen. We didn't have kids yet, but we were planning to. Or at least I thought we were. Daniel worked in IT consulting, which meant long hours, random calls, and sometimes late nights. I never questioned it too much. His job was demanding, and he always came home eventually. At least he used to. Over the past few months, things had started to feel off. He became more protective of his phone, always flipping it face down, taking calls in the other room, smiling at messages he wouldn't explain. I noticed it, of course I did. But every time I tried to bring it up, he had a way of making me feel like I was overthinking. "Rachel, it's just work stuff. You're being paranoid. I'm tired, can we not do this tonight?" So I stopped asking. I told myself I was imagining things. Until that afternoon. I had borrowed his car because mine was at the mechanic. His phone was connected to the Bluetooth system, something I didn't even realize at the time. As I was driving, a notification popped up on the screen. Voice message. Before I could react, it started playing automatically. That voice. Intimate. Too comfortable. "I can't wait to see you again tonight. Last night was perfect. And don't worry, she still has no idea." My stomach dropped. The car swerved slightly before I steadied it. That single word echoed in my head like a siren. I pulled over immediately, my heart pounding so loud I could barely hear my own thoughts. For a long moment I just sat there staring at the dashboard. Then I did something I had never done before. I went through my husband's messages. I know some people will say that's wrong. But at that point I already knew. I just needed proof. The messages were hidden under a contact name saved as Derek, work. But it wasn't Derek. It was her. The same voice from the note. Her real name, I would later find out, was Sophie. The messages went back months. Photos, plans, conversations that made my chest tighten with every scroll. They talked about hotels, about weekends away, about how easy it was because I trusted him. And then I saw something that made my blood run cold. A message from Sophie. "Are you sure she won't find out about the house?" I frowned. The house. Daniel had replied. "She won't. Everything is almost done. Once it's finalized, we're free." Free. Free from what? From me. My hands started shaking again, but this time it wasn't just from heartbreak. It was fear. Because this wasn't just an affair. This was planning. I drove home in a daze, my mind racing with questions. When I got there, Daniel wasn't back yet. I walked through the house slowly like I was seeing it for the first time. Every picture, every piece of furniture, every memory suddenly felt fake. Then I remembered something. A few weeks ago, Daniel had asked me to sign some documents. He said it was just refinancing paperwork to get a better rate on the house. I hadn't thought twice about it. I trusted him. Now I ran upstairs, went straight to the drawer where we kept important papers, and pulled everything out. It didn't take long to find them. The documents. My heart dropped as I read through them. This wasn't refinancing. It was a transfer. Partial ownership. And the name listed alongside Daniel's. Sophie. My vision blurred. He hadn't just cheated. He was trying to give our home to another woman. That night, I didn't confront him immediately. I needed to understand everything first. So I waited. When he came home, he acted normal. Kissed me on the cheek. Asked about my day. Complained about work. I watched him carefully, wondering how someone could lie so easily. "How was your day?" he asked. Smiled. "Quiet." That night, he said he had another late meeting. Of course he did. "I might be back after midnight," he said, grabbing his keys. He nodded. "Okay." As soon as he left, I moved. I went back into his messages and found the address of the hotel they had been talking about. And then I did something I never thought I'd do. Followed my husband. The hotel was about 20 minutes away. A modern place, the kind people use when they don't want to be seen. I parked across the street and waited. 10 minutes later, his car pulled in. And then I saw her. Sophie. She stepped out of a taxi, smiling as she walked toward him. He hugged her, kissed her. Like I didn't exist. I felt something inside me break completely. But I didn't cry. Not yet. Because I wasn't done. I got out of the car and walked straight toward them. They didn't notice me until I was right behind them. "Daniel." My voice was calm. "Come." They both froze. Slowly he turned around. The color drained from his face. "Rachel." Sophie stepped back, eyes wide. I looked at her. Then at him. Then I said the words that would change everything. "I know about the messages. And the house." Silence. Heavy. Suffocating silence. Then Sophie spoke. "Daniel, you said she signed everything." I turned to him sharply. "What does she mean?" He opened his mouth, but no words came out. That's when Sophie looked at me, confused and slightly panicked. "You didn't tell her," she said. My heart started pounding again. "Tell me what?" And then Sophie said something that made the entire situation 10 times worse. She signed the full transfer papers. The house isn't hers anymore. My world tilted. "What?" Sophie looked between us. "She signed it weeks ago. Everything is in his name now. He was supposed to add me after the final stage." I turned slowly to Daniel. "You tricked me." He stepped forward desperately. "Rachel, I was going to explain, but I cut him off. No. You were going to steal my home and run away with her." He didn't deny it. That was the worst part. He just stood there guilty. And in that moment I realized something terrifying. The man I married didn't exist anymore. But what they didn't know was that they had made one very big mistake. Because the papers I signed, they weren't finalized yet. And what I did next would make sure they never got what they wanted. If this betrayal shocked you, like, subscribe and comment "Exposed" for part 2 where everything came crashing down. Part 2 is already up, check my channel.